Released in the lead up to PlayStation's 30th anniversary, Astro Bot pays tribute to 3 decades of PlayStation, while also managing to be an absolutely delightful platformer with a lot of charm and attention to detail. In this video, we'll be looking at some Easter eggs, fun facts, and just cool stuff that you may or may not have caught while playing yourself. And if you haven't played Astro Bot, be warned that there will be spoilers, but I think this is one of those games that you could still probably enjoy regardless of how much you know going in. So, as you may or may not know, Astro Bot is a game that sees the titular bot, Astro, going on a journey to rescue his fellow robots and recover all of the pieces of their mothership, a giant PS5. While tracking down collectibles, you'll partake in a lot of fun activities, but there's just as many fun details to be found when you stop and take a break. If you have Astro idle while facing the camera, he'll wave at you, the player. He'll try to wave at you when it's cold out, though it's obviously getting to him, and not even try when he's overheating, which I don't blame him. While in more hospitable places, Astro has a lot of other idle animations, like almost too many. He may shout and listen for a response, or look around intently. From what I've gathered, he will only do this in worlds that he still have bots to rescue, so I actually had to go into a new playthrough just to get this footage. Otherwise, he may fall asleep and take a quick nap, eject and blow the dust out of his memory card, or even take a moment to play one of 2 games. One is Astro Bot on the PSP, and the other is Bot Racer on the PlayStation 1, which is equipped with a snazzy portable screen. I always wanted one of those when I was younger. While standing atop snow or sand, Astro will occasionally bend down and draw the PlayStation symbols that you can find on the controller face buttons, coins, just about every surface in this game. In fact, if you look close, raindrops splashing against the ground form those same shapes, and even the snowflakes have been PlayStationed. Speaking of rain, if Astro sits in a waterfall, he'll scrub his non-existent hair. What a clean boy. On that topic, there are many power-ups for Astro to utilize throughout this adventure, some as gloves, other as backpacks. In at least one level, he straight up becomes a sponge, allowing him to absorb water and become a giant. While small, his idle animation is to pull out a tub and take a quick soak. While giant, he'll try the same thing, but instead crush the tub. Whoops. The chicken jetpack has 2 animations. For one of them, it'll shock Astro awake, chuckling to itself after. For the other one, it'll pull out a nest and count its eggs. I'm not sure you're supposed to keep all of your eggs in one basket, but I've never been great with metaphors. As for other abilities, Astro will briefly shadowbox using the froggy gloves, toss a treat to Barkster the bulldog booster, get tickled by the octo balloon, or pass the time by juggling some bananas. While balancing on the armadillo ball, Astro will sit down and pat it, and while wearing the metal ball outfit, his shorts will sometimes fall to the ground and he'll be all embarrassed. By the way, when recording the footage for this, I popped into photo mode because I was curious if you could change Astro Ball's eyes. Well, it let me, but only because the screen and his other emotions appeared floating above him, which shouldn't happen, either way. While wearing the slow-mo clock, which includes a PlayStation VR headset, Astro may fall asleep, and the clock will use its alarm to wake him up. It may also pull out a cloth to wipe down its clock face. The penguin buddy won't do anything on dry land, but underwater, the two will perform a bit of synchronized swimming. The elephant will tap on Astro's shoulder and head mischievously before giving him a hug. And when heading out with the teddy bear symbol, the two will actually start dancing along to the level's celebratory music. If you witness this animation before the music starts, which I think is only possible in this one level, you can hear their cute vocalizations. There's more animations to share, but first some context. In each of the main worlds, after defeating its boss, you rescue a special VIP bot, which you then follow into a level emulating their game of origin. What's more, they actually give Astro their weapon, transforming Astro into them, so you become Spike and track down monkeys like an Ape Escape, play as Kratos and smash through things like in God of War, and so on. Of these adopted forms, the bulbous Loco Roco thing doesn't have any particular idle animations. Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn will simply pose with the bow, while Nathan Drake from Uncharted will juggle his gun, poorly. Kratos, the dad of war, will stomp a crystal, sometimes being red, sometimes green, just like how he would recover rage and health, respectively, in the original. Spike from Ape Escape actually has 2 animations. At random, he'll pull out a banana, trying to bait the monkeys, or pull out a hula hoop and dance a bit. Somehow, we're still not quite done with animations. Throughout the game, you can find various robotic animals, a lot of which can also be found in the unlockable Safari Park and the Crash site. If you hop on a turtle swimming across the water surface, Astro will balance with his arms out like he's surfing. A lot of quadrupedal animals will let Astro ride on their back, just for a moment though, before knocking him off. In the park, these lemurs will actually laugh, which is quite rude. If you hop on the cow after smacking it, you'll get thrown off. If you instead wait until the cow is relaxed, Astro will pat it and rub heads with it, or give it a loving hug before sliding down for a nice little nap. Speaking of the cow, You probably saw one in the level Trunk of Funk, though you may have forgotten as the titular tree is way more memorable. I bring up the tree because while you can't miss the funky song it sings to you after it first sprouts, once you finish the level, the tree will never sing its song again, instead just looping its catchy mutterings. Perhaps in a future update, the developers will allow us to witness the funk as many times as we want. Now I think I've put off the inevitable for long enough, it's time to talk about all those wacky bots. After completing all the levels in the main game, and collecting the 300 lost bots, they will allow Astro to access the Great Master Challenge, a difficult gauntlet that rewards a 300 first robot. But that is not all. To unlock 4 more bots, we'll have to hop over to Astro's Playroom. Released for free in November of 2020, this is the second game in the Astro Bot series, but is probably where most people started to learn about this silly bot, as this game didn't require PSVR. Either way, while the game is ostensibly a showcase of PlayStation's history and a great demo of the DualSense PS5 controller, it's also a fairly fun platforming game. In the lead up to Astro Bot's release, Astro's Playroom was updated to contain 4 bots unlocked through various cryptic methods that would then become available in Astro Bot. Within Memory Meadow, a subsection of Gusty Gateway, after activating the first 2 controller cord bridges, you can return to the first grassy field to find a little capsule with a net inside. Bringing this forward, you can toss it into a glowing spot in the clouds to reveal a monkey. In order to have this ape escape containment and come back with us to the other game, you must scale up this small hill thing and smack this tree for a bunch of bananas. Once you bring these to the monkey, it will start dancing and you're supposed to mimic his moves using the 4 directional buttons. You can do the Carlton, recreate some moves from Saturday Night Fever, perform an Irish line dance, or floss. Oh, and I should note that all of these dances still appear in Astro Bot, but they are all mapped to the same button, and you just do them at random. In SSD Speedway, part of Deep Data Space, platform your way to this little outcropping looking towards a black hole to reveal another trapped bot. The hint is a spacesuit, which is technically telling you to go die, but like in the game. Just grab the ball, shoot and minigun, and let Astro get hit while standing in this blue circle. Doing so respawns you unlocks the bot referencing the game Returnal. If you don't know, Returnal is a really great third-person shooter roguelike where Celine, a stranded astronaut, is trapped in an infinite loop of death and despair. It's fun stuff. In GPU Jungle, part of Render Forest, standing in this spot reveals a trapped hunter with a clock as the hint. Over on one of these tree platforms is a clock. While standing in front of it, if you press the menu button, you'll see a screen prompting you to input a date. The necessary date is the 24th of November, 2015. Which is when Bloodborne's old Hunters DLC was released, which makes sense, considering the bot is mimicking Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower. Finally, in Cooling Springs, part of Bot Beach, you must walk over 4 green starfish in a particular order, which reveals a bot with this directional hint. On the other side of the beach, tucked up against this pipe, is a hidden steering wheel. Now, if you press the menu button, you'll get the usual level select screen, but the sounds of cars can be heard. You must essentially drive the cursor along the route shown on the bot's capsule screen. Failing to do so will result in a crash, so I guess don't do that. Once finished, you'll unlock the race car driving representative from Gran Turismo. That done, we can raise the total count from 305 to 315 by playing through all of the brand new speedrun levels in Stellar Speedway. These levels and Galaxy were added as a free DLC, with each level rolling out every Thursday from October 17th to November 14th. There's not too much to say about the levels themselves other than they're pretty neat. So now that we have discussed how to get all 315 bots, I will not be discussing them one by one because there are already plenty of videos and articles doing just that. Instead, let's hone in on some particularly interesting things, though let me know in the comments down below if there's any cool stuff that I missed. Amongst the wealth of astro-shaped bots, sporting all kinds of attire, there are at least 5 animals that are animal-shaped. Even better, if you smack them, which looks harsh but is the default way of activating any given bot, they will follow you across the crash site. As such, you can get a pet posse consisting of the cat from Stray, a retro and modern Aibo dog, which were real toys produced by Sony, the Pomeranian from Tokyo Jungle, and a glowy Shiba Inu from the puzzle game Humanity. As for other interactables, you could shoulder check the soccer player from Pro Evolution Soccer, which will cause them to theatrically flop on the ground, and then you're free to kick the soccer ball across the crash site until it inevitably flies out of bounds. Astro is a lot stronger than it looks. Amongst the Resident Evil characters, Alpha Male, aka Chris Redfield, is messing with a typewriter, which serves as save points across a lot of the series. I bring this up because the journal sitting on that same table has the words itchy tasty on the right, with the equivalent-ish phrase written in kanji on the left. So this was news to me, but that phrase is actually a callback to the original Resident Evil. In it, you can find a journal written by an animal keeper as he succumbs to the T virus, which essentially turns you into a zombie. He describes his body feeling hot and itchy, and his irritated skin rotting and falling away. The fever leaves, but the itchiness remains, joined by hunger. The last journal entry makes it clear that the keeper just straight up ate his coworker, and his final words are of course, itchy tasty, neat. As mentioned before, Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series is one of the special bots that has a whole level and theme spot dedicated to them. Flanked by all of his friends and that one dead guy he's named after, Nathan sits on a couch playing Dude Raider on the PS1. While this is no doubt a reference to Tomb Raider, a game that definitely inspired Uncharted, and also has a kind of connection as the two get compared a lot. Oh, and there's an achievement in this game that you can get of taking a picture of Nathan Drake and Lara Croft together. I think this scene, Nathan on a couch playing a PS1, is also a reference to the surprising moment in Uncharted 4 where Nathan, and thus the player, just straight up plays some Crash Bandicoot. It's weird, but also cool that they just put the game in this game.
Nice.
Right? Oh, what happened?
You fell in the pit.
Oh, and while it's not exactly an Astro Bot thing, I can't not mention that in a commercial for Crash Bandicoot 4, Crash watches his sister Coco play Uncharted 4. How incredibly meta. Speaking of meta, this gas-masked fellow is Psycho Mantis, and he is floating above a TV depicting his fight against Solid Snake in the original Metal Gear Solid game. During his idle animation, Psycho Mantis will focus on the PS1 controller, making it vibrate with his psychic powers, causing the screen to flicker. This is neat because in that original fight, Psycho Mantis' mental abilities are demonstrated by breaking the fourth wall. He'll speak directly to the player, make your controller vibrate, and seemingly cause the screen to shut off or lose signal. Most interesting, he'll actually critique your playstyle thus far, and even check the system's memory card to comment on what games the player frequents. Spooky. While we're here, I'll also point out that the Legendary Mercenary and Legendary Soldier, aka Solid Snake and Big Boss respectively, are some of the few bots that have multiple animations once activated. For both, the animation you get is seemingly random. Solid Snake can pop out of the box with the classic before returning to his cardboard cover, or the box will pop off and reveal him to be looking at some kind of inappropriate magazine. Big Boss is somehow weirder, as he'll pop out of the hollow tree stump and eat a plate of bugs, crawl around with a lizard mask, or just aim a banana around as if it was a gun. Now, as we wrap things up, I should say that I've taken so long to get this video done that Team Asobi has actually released another free DLC, this time a level called Winter Wonder. It's a cozy winter level that features 7 new bots, multiple outfits, and a few paint jobs for your ship. Winter Wonder is only playable after beating the mid-game, probably because it features just about every power-up in the game. It's not really challenging, just a cozy romp through a fun winter holiday themed level. Also, I should mention, this level went live the same day as the Game Awards 2024, in which Astro Bot had quite a few nominations. I was rooting for them, and I expected it to have a good showing, but I did not expect a near Astro sweep, as it won Best Family Game, Best Game Direction, Best Action/Adventure Game, and most importantly...
And the game of the year is... Astro Bot!
Everyone does and will have their opinions on this. I think it's more than worthy of the title. It's such a fun game with so much love, passion, and care put into it. I'm not sure what's next for Astro Bot, but I am so glad to have played this game, and I had a lot of fun making this video. Speaking of, thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. That said, outro time. Big thanks to my channel members for their support, and a galaxy-sized thanks to Shay Shay for being a super fan. If you enjoyed this video, why not leave a like, maybe subscribe, check out my other stuff. I got tons of videos on Nintendo stuff, not a lot on PlayStation, but you know, maybe I'll expand my catalog in the future. If there's anything I missed, please comment down below. That's it for this one. Bye-bye.